Hey guys, it's Niyah Tashay. So, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer. So, as you guys can see from today's title, we will be diving into the heart of medicine, exploring the truth about doctors in 2024. Are these doctors evolving to take care of black patients, or are modern day doctors just charlatans, pretending to be educated in medicine but really aiding in the depopulation of the American people? Let me know, y'all. What do y'all think? I'm going to break this down into 6 main talking points. We're going to start with Drjackie's resurfaced comments, the strong black woman trope, racial biases in healthcare, medical apartheid, doctors dancing while giving surgery, and horror stories from former Drmiami clients. Dr. Jacqueline Walters is a prominent figure on Marriedtomedicine. Philanthropist, she's a woman's advocate, award-winning OBGYN, and star of the hit TV show Marriedtomedicine on Bravo. A week or two ago, Jackie faced scrutiny by the black sector of media after a resurfaced clip revealed her remarks about black women being dramatic during pregnancy. This raised concerns about the potential impacts on healthcare for black women, especially considering the existing disparities.
Sometimes, as African American women, we're a bit more dramatic in that you go to the doctor and you complain and you complain and you complain, and you're not taken serious because you cried wolf the entire pregnancy.
That ain't me, boo. I don't know what you talking about, but go ahead.
I didn't say you. I just said as African American women, we want to also make sure you're being serious with your doctor and not playing the game so I can take you off work. Because then we see you 25 times in the pregnancy. It's hard to believe that there's a true problem when there's a true problem.
I watched the full clip, plus went back to find some more clips, which only left me with more questions. Drjackie is known for advocating for black women. She has said on multiple podcast interviews black women are not dramatic and that it's a stereotype and it's something that ends bad for us when people do think that we are being more dramatic. She was asked on the panel about black women's death ratio while giving birth, and she herself said that black women are told that they're dramatic and that leads to a more common problem in
heart disease, hypertension, diabetes.
So is there anything that we can do as black women to kind of prevent this? Or, because I saw this video on Instagram, and just, I don't know if this is fact or not, but I'm glad you're here to kind of co-sign, to kind of elaborate on this. But the doctor was saying that black women, that they don't listen to black women when they come to he said that white doctors don't listen to black women when they talk about their different ailments. This was on the internet, on social media. He had on the whole doctor's code and everything. So I'm really confused about what he meant by that. He said that they don't really take black women seriously when they talk about their different ailments, as if we're exaggerating of some sort.
But could we say that all Caucasian male doctors are doing that to us? That's got to be a blanket statement. We can't say that.
And we can, but I think there's a whole...
we can say
we cannot.
Oh, okay.
We cannot. Well, let's clarify the misconception that black women are dramatic.
Yes.
We are not dramatic. We're very passionate, yes, and we've gone through some things. Right, but
so I can't answer what led Jackie to say that women are more dramatic, but I can debunk once and for all the myth of the dramatic black woman or the strong black woman. So I'm going to come with reports from the CDC, which shows a 3-fold higher likelihood of black women dying from pregnancy-related causes than white women, indicating issues related to healthcare quality, structural racism, and implicit bias. Quote, black women consistently report having their concerns dismissed by doctors, which can have a dangerous and sometimes fatal consequence. End quote.
I'm going to play 2 videos, and I want you to put 2 and 2 together for me, please. Thank you.
Here we go. I've been an ear doctor for 10 years now, and a significant amount of my African American patients, while I'm doing a history and physical to understand better what's going on with their problem today, they have someone on the phone. They're either just talking on the phone or they're on FaceTime, but a large percentage of my African American patients have someone that's there in the room.
Eddie Bernice Johnson was the first nurse, the 3rd woman from Texas, and the first black person from Dallas to serve in Congress. She died last week due to allegedly mismanagement of her care at a healthcare facility. The facility she was in was a rehabilitation facility where she had been sent after having had surgery on her spine. According to her family, when they went to visit her just a couple of weeks after her surgery, they found her sitting in her own feces and urine because no one had come to help get her cleaned up. Imagine where the incision might be if you had surgery on your lower spine. Imagine if you were laying in a bed and you pee and you have a bowel movement, where all of that material might collect. Once you put two and two together, you won't be surprised to hear that she developed a wound infection that ultimately required her having another surgery to clean out the wound and remove the hardware and put new hardware into her spine. Ultimately, she was not able to recover. The first surgery was September 7th, the second surgery was September 25th, and by mid-December, she was sent home on hospice care.
One of the most dangerous places to be as a black person is in a medical setting alone. And it doesn't matter what status you have in society, being black in a medical setting can kill you. Although, to be quite honest with that doctor, I don't think his question was sincere at all. But anyways, I wanted to connect one more dot that disabled people have been trying to fucking scream to the rooftops about for years. The hospital system where she was, the rehab system, Baylor, Scott & White, was bought out by private equity. It was bought out by private equity. Or as this article likes to call it, consolidated. Do you all get it yet?
Number 2. Stereotypes and medical treatment disparities. The discussion extends to a pervasive stereotype like the strong black woman trope, originating from the historical expectations during slavery. This stereotype often led to the dismissal of black women's concerns, particularly in healthcare. The intersectionality of being viewed primarily as black or woman in different contexts adds layers to the challenges faced by black women.
That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches, and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles, or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman?
And that is Sojourner Truth's poem at the 1851 Women's Convention. This poem highlights the use of soft language like being lifted and taken care of. Sojourner outlines how, as a black woman, our femininity is packaged differently than our white counterparts, which too extends to the healthcare system, which is why white women are seen as increasingly more vulnerable and in need of protection than black women. In movies, you can clearly see how the black princess is packaged versus how the white princess is packaged. The hoops that our black princess had to jump through to get to her prince, who was a frog by the way, whereas the Caucasian princesses are packaged as damsels and weaker. The hoops that their princess went through to get to them. So that's just something that really stands out to me. The deeply embedded racial biases in healthcare manifest in disparities in pain treatment. Black patients, particularly black women, often face distrust from physicians, impacting their access to adequate pain management. The strong black woman stereotype contributes to the misconception that black individuals can endure more pain due to their physiology. Quote, pain for black people, particularly black women, is seen as something we've been built for, and that is something that we can endure because we have the physiology and the biology to endure it. End quote. Medical apartheid. The narrative that black women do not feel pain carries significant consequences, including a history of non-consensual medical experimentation on black individuals. In the book Medical Apartheid, they address medical discrimination, and in the book's opening, it discusses James Marion Sims, a racist gynecologist who held the belief that black women couldn't feel pain. Sims proceeded to conduct experiments on numerous African American enslaved women. It details how he would blame the wrong parties for diseases and infections such as neonatal tetanus. Neonatal tetanus is a bacterial disease which is caused by animal manure. It grows in wounds such as in umbilical stumps. Instead of blaming the slave owners for not providing proper care and clean living areas for these enslaved people to live in, Sims blamed the enslaved women's supposed laziness as the cause of their diseases. This inhumane treatment extended to the children of the slaves. The mistreatment of black infants during the 1800s was terrible. Sims used their bodies for tetany experiments. Sims determined through his research that the cause of tetany in babies was a result of the movement of skull bones during birth. In order to test his theory, he took a black baby and, using shoemaker's tools, opened the baby's brains based on the belief that black babies' skulls grew faster than the skulls of white babies. preventing their brains from growing and developing. Most of the babies died, and he blamed their deaths on their supposed lack of intelligence. The most infamous example of Sims' medical malpractice was his research on women's genitalia. Sims acquired 4 female enslaved Africans and used their bodies in order to find a cure for the complication of childbirth. Sims put African women through painful surgeries without giving them any type of anesthesia, and he was eventually able to find a cure. Sims also cited the popular belief that blacks did not feel pain in the same way as whites. Despite this, he received much fame and attention for his breakthrough. Because of his use of black women, Sims was eventually able to help white women and who experienced the same experiences, but black women did not have the access to these treatments, and many of them died from the same disease that African women helped cure. Along with the doctors not giving the women anesthesia, he mistreated the women and dehumanized them by making them completely undressed, which was something that white women didn't need to do. So Drjackie's remarks are perilous because historically white doctors have utilized the false notion that black women don't feel pain to experiment on them, prioritizing white lives. Her statement perpetuates this harmful stereotype, potentially endangering the lives of the women and children under her care. The age of TikTok doctors. Doctors, instead of moving past medical biases and learning the history of the medical industry to better support black women, are taking to social media to showcase their dance moves. It's perplexing to me to witness a surgeon, mid-BBL, engaging in a renegade dance on TikTok, but I digress. As discussed in Vogue's article titled, "Should Your Plastic Surgeon Be Dancing on TikTok?" Quote, "I am okay with my dermatologist posting something educational on social media, but I wouldn't be thrilled seeing her dance on TikTok. That seems like a poor use of a doctor's time." End quote. This quote expresses the sentiment that such activities might be considered unprofessional. TikTok has become a way for doctors to reach patients, combat false information about medical research, and build a personal relationship with clients. However, some doctors take this entirely too far by trading free services in exchange for TikTok surgery videos, highlighting the potential risk and unprofessional nature of such practices. The concern is that the human body is not a new object to be marketed for fame, and the pursuit of clout might compromise the seriousness of the medical profession. My next topic is on Jessica Ross's Child, a story coming out of Clayton County, Georgia, illustrating another example of black women and children being unprotected in the medical system.
Could be inappropriate for children.
A young Clayton County mother and father have sued their OBGYN and Southern Regional Hospital after they claim the doctor's negligence led to their baby being decapitated during childbirth.
In the wrongful death lawsuit filed in Clayton County this morning, the couple claims the hospital covered up their baby's death. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us from Southern Regional Hospital in Riverdale, where that death happened.
Good evening. What a sad and horrendous story. I have learned today that the Clayton County Police Department is investigating this baby death. And as for the parents, well, they're just too distraught to talk about it.
This is one of the most sad, egregious, and horrific situations that I've ever seen.
20-year-old Jessica Ross and her boyfriend, Travion Taylor Sr., have an unimaginable story. Their attorney says the young couple was full of joy and anticipation for their first child. They came here to Southern Regional Medical Center for the delivery July 9th. According to the complaint, doctors had diagnosed Ms. Ross with diabetes a year earlier, making her a high-risk pregnancy. But she consistently went to appointments while she was expecting. The couple's attorney says after about 10 hours of labor, Jessica was fully dilated and ready for delivery of Travion Jr. But according to the complaint, they say his shoulders got stuck in the vaginal canal.
What wound up happening after that is just brutal. Dr. St. Julian came in and she, in the process of trying to deliver this baby, pulled on the baby's head and neck so hard and manipulated them so hard that the bones in the baby's skull, face, and neck were broken.
According to the complaint, that is when Dr. St. Julian called for an emergency C-section.
When the womb was open, the feet came out, the body came out, and there was no head. The head was stuck in the vagina.
The couple's attorneys allege nurses and medical staff at the hospital lied to the couple about what happened, discouraged them from getting an autopsy, tried to encourage them to cremate the child, and failed to report the death to the medical examiner.
They also did not report the death to the authorities of Clayton County or the Clayton County medical examiner. This report was made by a funeral home, and after the funeral home waved the flag and alerted the authorities regarding this, it wasn't until then when Dr. St. Julian told the family what actually happened.
Now, we reached out to Dr. St. Julian, but she declined to comment. We did hear from the hospital, however. Their statement reads, while our heartfelt sympathies go out to the family, Southern Regional Medical Center denies the allegations in the complaint referencing the hospital. Since this matter is in litigation, we are refrained from providing any additional information. Dr. St. Julian is not an employee of the hospital. The hospital has taken the appropriate steps in response to this unfortunate situation. We are live in Clayton County. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Just so upsetting. Your heart goes out to that family. Angelique, thanks.
As highlighted by the tragic incident involving the baby's parents, Jessica Ross and Travion Isaiah Taylor, filing a lawsuit against independent pathologist Dr. Jackson Gates and their OBGYN Dr. Tracy St. Julian and the Southern Regional Medical Center. Dr. Tracy Julian was fired after she allegedly applied ridiculously excessive force trying to deliver the baby with shoulder dystocia. As mentioned by their attorney Roderick Edmond, the lawsuit includes allegations that St. Julian and medical staff lied to the couple about the decapitation, and sadly the infant did not survive this. Shoulder dystocia occurs in roughly 3% of vaginal deliveries, and it typically happens when women have reached full term. The risk factors for babies experiencing shoulder dystocia including the mother having diabetes or being short in stature. Ross, 20 years old, had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and her pregnancy was considered high risk, raising questions about the attention her doctors paid to this crucial information. The truth about Drmiami. Dr. Michael S. is Gen Z's favorite surgeon right now. As a renowned cosmetic and reconstructive surgeon in Miami, his reviews range from the best surgeon ever to the worst surgeon ever. The first review comes from old TV stars Danny and Gabby from the Bad Girls Club. They both detailed Drmiami offering to do their BBLs free of charge and having horrible aftercare and completely ruining the shape of the girls.
18 months when my sister approached me and was like, Drmiami's about to hook us up. And I was super insecure, and my son's father did not help. He played on those insecurities. So I was like, say less, sis. And without doing any type of research, I got on a flight and went. And don't do that. Please fucking don't do that. If you want to get plastic surgery, do whatever the fuck you want to do with your body. I'm with whatever. But do your research, okay? And people don't understand that BBLs are so fucking dangerous. So the reason why I decided to do general anesthesia with Dr. Saeed is because I had this horrible inkling feeling about going back under and the fear of never seeing my son again. So I went back under with general anesthesia, and the pain was fucking brutal. Not during I was like so loopy and I was like whatever. The next day, it only lasted for like 48 hours, but it was pretty bad.
Hi, we're gonna show before and after photos. Hopefully this video can touch 1 million people that are considering getting a BBL or Drmiami. And before I get into it, we do have a bunch of story times on this. There's one in particular that has like 500,000 views. If you're having a bad day and need to laugh, go watch that. I think it's called The Victor Twins Plastic Surgery Nightmare. Hilarious. So this is my before. Look how uneven my hips are. It's just tragic. Like, I can't. Oh my god. Are we ready? It's giving me cement. Look at this. Like, oh my god. This is my revision. Clearly metrical with my thighs. And I just look better. My hips are even. Do not go to Drmiami. Don't. Drmiami is a doctor that gave me the worst BBL ever. That I had to go get it revised by another doctor a couple years later because it literally looked like I had a cement ass. This is the same doctor that when I went in the day of surgery, I told him, please don't make me look like Khloe Kardashian or any of the Kardashians. I want to look like my butt goes with my body. And I came out.
The second review are from fans of Teen Mom who noticed that Brianna's free surgeries were not reflective of a good surgeon, noting that the shape is bad and Drmiami is self-obsessed. He puts more time into making himself appear as great than actually being great at his craft. Next review comes directly from Yelp and RateMDs. Quote, absolutely horrendous. This surgeon is my absolute worst nightmare. He uses his social media and marketing skills to trick patients into believing that he's actually amazing at what he does. So thank you guys for watching this video about medical discrimination, my thoughts on Drjackie, the strong black woman trope, doctors, and Drmiami. If you're interested in more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you.